Wow, look at those stats. How is a newcomer supposed to compete in PvP when people like this are running around with almost 10 times as much defense as I have, and look at that crazy assault rifle. And this isn't even the legendary gear. As soon as he gets a legendary gun, then he's really going to be absolutely unstoppable. Or will he? What if I were to tell you that this devilishly dapper warlock could strip down to his pajamas and run around with the second gun you ever get in the game and still crush all of your hopes and dreams? Well, that is what we're here to try to find out. Is the Destiny PvP balanced? To answer that question plainly, yes, actually. The Destiny PvP is surprisingly balanced. It's something that has been very curious to me ever since the beta, and I tested it back then and even did a little bit of testing now, but with so much confusion surrounding this multiplayer, I really feel that I should share what I have discovered. And that is that, in fact, whether you want to believe it or not, the damage on your assault rifles, that wonderful little number that means so much in the story mode, actually does not mean a single thing in the multiplayer. Now, I don't want you to just take my word for it that it's balanced. I want to actually show you. So I prepped up a gameplay with a Hunter, level 2, defense at the bare minimum, the assault rifle only 26. It's the first assault rifle you get at the tower when you complete the tutorial, and I got the sniper there, which I got during the tutorial, and I have no abilities. Only have my grenade. I have no jumping abilities to navigate the map, no super, so no insta-kill moves, and no melee buff. All things that you would have by the time that you get to the Crucible for the first time. So, I'm handicapping myself, even beyond what would normally happen, to show that damage can still be done with a low-level weapon. That little damage indicator does not determine your fate. Really, all that you need is basic gunplay and positioning, which is hard for me to do in this game just because I don't have any jumping abilities. I can't even navigate this map the way that I would like to. But right off the bat, we come in, it's late, we're already losing, come in losing, and just fighting people. I picked this gameplay because it has a lot of clean gunfights in it, and a lot of good use of positioning, I feel. Sadly, a lot of the people that I'm fighting aren't really they aren't really at that point above 20, but most of the people on my team are. And regardless, it's still showing me outperforming these people who, if it's true that, these weapons that you get in the campaign are just so overpowered that, I shouldn't even be able to have a chance to shoot at any of these enemies before my teammates come in and just slaughter everything. Or vice versa, these people that I'm fighting, even though they aren't 20, they're still 10, 15 levels ahead of me, and I'm still able to compete with them head-to-head fighting. The real reason that you can do this is just the fact that the game tries to reward good aim, really. Headshots matter throughout the entirety of a gunfight. A lot of people coming into this kind of have a Halo mindset, and in Halo, headshots didn't really matter until the shields were gone. When somebody had their shields up, you could shoot them in the foot, or you could shoot them in the face, and that shield was still going to drain about the same. And then once the shield was gone, that was when a headshot would really matter. In this game, headshots are king for the entirety of the gunfight. Even when people's shields are full, when I'm shooting people in the body, it's usually about 22 damage. And when I get headshots, you see the gold indicator right there, as it is on the screen, and it's 32 damage every time I get a headshot. So it really does count that for you. As far as weapon types, assault rifles are solid. They've been downgraded since the beta, so they kill slower. It's noticeably slower. And it gives other weapons a chance to shine. The hand cannon, I really don't know if they've done too much with it, or if it just was always crazy strong, but it's good. It's typically about 3 shots to kill somebody, and if you shoot them in the face, you're not going to know where their face went. It's just very, very powerful. And pulse rifles got a much needed buff, and now they just hurt. Whether you use them or they're being used against you, they hurt pretty bad. I haven't had a whole lot of extensive practice with scout rifles. I like those in the beta, but I just haven't really gravitated to it. I do like auto rifles just because I kind of like to run around. I like to be in your face. I feel like I play my warlock like a titan, but I feel like better than my favorite combo of a shotgun and an auto rifle, that a pulse rifle and a fusion rifle would do a lot better. Um, Shotguns get countered by fusion rifles pretty easy as long as you enter the room in a smart manner. Again, grenades counter shotguns. Fusion rifles, those actually can kind of be dodged. If you're not in shotgunning range, then fusion rifles tend to be a bit unreliable. And the way that they don't fire like a shotgun in that it shoots all the pellets out at once. It actually is like a bursting gun, so it shoots one at a time, but in quick succession, like a pulse rifle on crack. And that only works at short range, so those can actually be juked out pretty well. They're not as reliable as you would like them to be, and that's a good thing. So there's generally a counter for just about everything, and you know, whatever it is that you use, you just got to find out that weapon that fits your style. And out of all the guns that drop in your inventory, you might be like, you know, well, which one do I use then? Because there are some slight differences, such as stability and rate of fire, things like that. And that's all you really need to worry about. Just find a gun that's solid, that feels good, that you can land the shots. I'd say stability is one of the most important stats to use when you're using an auto rifle, just so you can land those headshots that really, really make the difference. And other than that, you know, it's just experiment. I kept this very same assault rifle. I kept it until I was around level 15. That's what I used. I had it just sitting in my inventory, and every time I went into the Crucible, I busted it out. It was my old faithful, and it's nice to see that I can still come back in, and I can still do solid, even using the old weaponry. As far as character abilities go, there's not a whole lot that really, really makes a difference. Supers are just supers. Again, you're gonna have access to it by the time you get there. Let me see. Starting classes versus secondary class. Warlock, Nova Bomb, murder stuff. You know, the Sunsinger. The Sunsinger. I always want to call it Sun Slinger because I'm like literally throwing grenades that turn into little suns. But it can't be Sun Slinger because they already have a gun slinger, so they try to make it different. I like Sun Slinger. But anyway, off that topic, it's not as good at killing people outright. You know, Nova Bomb just murders people outright. Secondary class with the Titan is a shield, so that's not really going to help you just flat out murder people. Golden Gun versus Blade Dancer on Hunter. Golden Gun's safer. It is. Blade Dancer's sweet though. It's pretty easy to use as well. But Golden Gun's even easier, is even safer. So it's really, you're not going to find yourself at too big of a disadvantage. Even the grenades, the Warlock's grenade, their first grenade is awesome. It's really just kick-ass. It just outclasses the second grenade in PvP anyway. And the third grenade's pretty good. It's pretty good, but again, there's times where I just want to go back to my first grenade. The Hunter, a lot of people for the first grenade. I think the Hunter's, yeah, a lot of the grenades that you just get at first. The Titan first grenade, I think, is probably the worst out of the 3 first grenades. But even so, I'd say that's mostly just because I suck with it, since all the grenades I use explode on impact, so I'm always throwing the grenade wrong. Their first grenade has a nice blinding effect as well, so it's like a flashbang and a damage at once. So it's pretty sweet, and I feel like it's probably a little easier to confirm kills than with the pulse grenade, as the pulses happen a little slower than I would like them to be. But, you know, all of that. Any abilities you get that boost your super, they don't really change it in any super drastic ways. Things like glide and lift, it's not really going to change anything drastic. Probably the biggest difference would be blink, and even so, once you see it once or twice, you kind of know what to expect, and you can counter it. It's just another jump that I don't even personally like to use, but it does have its uses. But everything in the game, you know, once you see it, you can counter it. Once people were unlocking Blade Dancer, I was like, what the crap is this? People coming at me with lightning, and then I figured out how to counter it. As soon as I saw somebody start turning on lightning, I busted my super, countered it. Everything in the game is adaptable. You don't have to go into this thinking that you're already at a loss or that there's just no hope. And I know that feeling. A lot of games that try too hard to give everyone a fair chance despite their skill level, like Call of Duty, that kind of makes me lose interest because there's no real way for me to sit there and push myself to become better. I can learn the maps and things like that and navigate, but as far as just my raw skill at shooting someone in the face, that isn't something I can really just train and focus on. And in this game you can. It really comes down to you and your skill level, and I just don't want anyone to come into this PvP and think that they don't have a chance. Because regardless of your level, if you have a gun that you play well with, you will always have a chance. So I got the score at the end of this match. The guy had more assists than me, so that made him have a few more points. I had more captures. I wish that would have counted for something, but oh well. At the end of the day, most kills, fewest deaths. Well, maybe not fewest deaths, but highest KD. We all know how important that is. Ooh, KD. But it does show performance. And sadly, these opponents I battled, they weren't all in the 20s. Not as many as I would have liked, but I have had other games versus other high-level people that I can post and show. And it's just, I want to make sure that people aren't just counting themselves out. Because if you go into this thinking, oh, I'm going to just get destroyed because of these people's gear, and not just because of experience, I don't want anyone to get burnt out on that. I definitely want you to know that it can be done. Level 2, level 3 even, level 4, all of that. Low level, you can still compete with high level, with endgame people. It's not gonna be the end of the world. Even if somebody has something like exploding rounds on their assault rifle, it's not really helping them kill you any better. It has some advantages. If you're standing right next to somebody, after they kill you, they can kill the other guy a little easier, I guess. But at the end of the day, you and your buddy there should be able to murder the crap out of that person by the time that even matters. All that really matters is just shooting people in the face. That's all that you gotta pay attention to. Shoot them in the face, aim true, and just put down the weapon that has the highest damage, but you just don't like it. Just put down that scout rifle if you don't like it. Just keep that one gun on you at all times that you really like, and just go wreck house with it. That's all you gotta do. So I hope that at least can alleviate some questions, some issues, some lingering wonders, and allow people that maybe are writing it off or waiting till level 20 to jump in because they think that's the only way they're gonna have a chance, or people that got discouraged, to at least give the PvP a chance again. It's actually surprisingly well balanced. Insta kills all around, but again, by the time you get there, you'll be insta killing people too and pissing them off with it just as much as you get it. So that's it for me. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that this helped alleviate any concerns, any issues, or any questions that you might have. Just showing you can kill people. Doesn't matter what damage your gun is or how much armor you have, you will still die and you can still kill just as well. Well, until next time, I hope you have fun, and maybe I'll see you in the Crucible.
More efforts like that, and we might just win this.